My wonderful brothers and sisters, a good afternoon to you again. This is Albert BALDEO, the elected community leader and advocate of the largest Guyana's diaspora outside of Guyana, and who's had years of experience serving as a police prosecutor, a state prosecutor, senior state counsel, magistrate, and very knowledgeable in the criminal law of Guyana. Spent my early part of my career pursuing that, and I've done a lot of these cases, inquests, and things of this nature. So I want to shed some light on what's going on. Now, the inquest can be held back until there's an investigation by the government or the police force or the Director of Public Prosecutions, law enforcement. Secondly, the Commission of Inquiry can carry on, and they can also exchange evidence or use evidence. But if one event is going to stymie the other or confuse the other, for example, if you're having a Commission of Inquiry and you open it out to have all the witnesses, when you charge a captain and those folks on the staff, they may very well come forward and say, I'm not going to have anything to do with this. I'm exercising my fundamental right to remain silent, not to incriminate myself, as is enshrined in the Guyana Constitution. So that will put a block and a most material and substantive damper on the proceedings. Very wrong move by the Director of Public Prosecutions. Very a rush to charge, bring charges of murder, which cannot stand up in the court of law, and hence that is going to hamper the Commission of Inquiry. So we've got to find a way. If you're going to give them immunity or you're going to work with them, but you should not have brought those charges so early. I know that people want answers, but then to just pull a charge on 3 scapegoats like that, it just does not make sense. That is not prosecutors operate. That's not how the rule of law that is supposed to work. That is not how justice is dispensed. A prosecutor is a minister of justice. And for you to grapple 3 of the least connected or the least resourced people and say, well, you're the captain and you're the 2 guys and you all had drugs in the system, it might be grounds for a charge, but certainly not murder. And you're saying, well, okay, we got the people who did this, then I think you're trying to pull the wool over the Guyanese people's eyes, and it's not going to pass muster because there must be proper investigation. There must be due process of law, whereby you're going to flush out and investigate all these other items. So I hope that the government and the prosecutorial arm, of which the Director of Public Prosecutions has a sole jurisdiction in matters of this nation, should think it much more tactfully. How do we go about finding answers, finding solutions, and making sure that this does not happen again? So the most important question right now is also in addition to the investigation and inquiries, what do we do whilst all of this has been happening? And that is, we have to implement and let the people of Guyana know that we've been taking steps in road, water, air, and other means of transportation with regards to certification, licensure, ability to operate these vehicles, certifications, inspections, fitness, and all these other requirements that are obtained in other countries. You just can't jump in one of these vehicles and just drive and have people's lives in danger and put the public at risk. That's not good practicality. That's not how civilized societies operate, and we got to change that. So towards this end, for brevity, I've put together a list of items that immediate reforms must encompass. And these items are: publish a complete list of passenger vessels, their ages, ownership, inspection dates, maintenance history, insurance status, and license capacities. We got to have insurance also for these vessels, whether it's underwritten by overseas companies. Establish verified digital passenger and crew manifests. Require independent passenger and cargo counts with signed clearance from responsible officers. You can't just dump everything in one and then you got overload. Introduce mandatory weighting, load distribution, and cargo storage controls. Properly provide fitted life jackets for every passenger, including children. Require crew fitness for duty, testing, training, and emergency certification, including drug tests. Install tracking systems, distress beacons, radios, and recording equipment on passenger vessels. Establish properly equipped rescue stations. Conduct regular emergency drills with the Coast Guard, police, health services, regional authorities, and river communities. Create a public compensation assistance program for survivors and bereaved families. And publish your weekly reports. Publish what's going on, what you've done. So lawyers in Guyana, you're invited to look at the Guyana State Liability and Proceedings Act. Guyana State Liability and Proceedings Act. That is where you can get justice for your clients and for those passengers. I urge all of you to do it pro bono. I urge you to help the people of Guyana who need legal representation there. But the state has a liability, unfortunately, in such situations like these, to pay and to justly compensate these folks. Also, there will be criminal charges, but your compensation for the clients and the people of Guyana is on the State Liability Act. And I urge you to look at that very quickly. Thank you very much, and may God bless you all as we try to help those who have suffered, the vulnerable amongst us, and by treatment of whom we will be measured as a country and by God's grace. Thank you. This is Albert BALDEO signing off. God bless. Bye-bye.